Everybody, it's Katie, and I'm coming to you with my first ever book haul. And I'm so excited that I'm doing my first ever book haul here on my channel. I've seen other booktubers do it, and it's time for my first ever book haul. So I have a bunch of books that I got from different places. One I got from Book Outlet, which I used for the first time ever, and I enjoyed using it. I have two books I got from Barnes and Noble. And last but not least, I got two books from my local bookstore. Um, this is this really cool bookshop that's on Main Street where my work is. And I went in one day just looking around, and I ended up walking out with two books. So I'm going to start off with those books. So, the first book I got happens to be a book that I've already read. And, it happens to be a bigger book that it would be so much easier for me to read. And that happens to be Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I happen to have the bigger version of Wise Man's Fear. And that was so much easier for me to read. And I had the mass paperback copy for Name of the Wind. And I'm like, since I got the bigger version of Wise Man's Fear, let me pick up the bigger version of Name of the Wind. That way it'd be easier for me to read. And so I ended up picking up the big version of Name of the Wind. So I'm excited to have it and be able to have a better understanding and being able to read it so much better now. Then that way it's easier for me to read. So I'm excited. So the other book I got, it's part of a series, part of a world that I just found this past couple months. Started in February with another series by this said author. And she had a new book that came out. And I'm like, let me go get it. And that book happens to be King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. So this happens to be the first book in the Nikolai duology, I believe. And I am so excited to have this book in my possession that I can actually read. I've become such a huge fan of Leigh Bardugo's writing, and I've gone into this world so excited. I'm almost done with the Grishaverse, so I'm excited to have this book pick up once I'm done. I actually found a really cool fact that I didn't realize about this was that it happened to be an autographed copy. So that's very exciting. So yeah, I'm hands down so excited to read King of Scars. I'm actually going to put it in my TBR cart. So, yay! Books I'm going to be talking about are actually from Barnes & Noble. So I'm excited to see. As you can see, I had already opened the box because I just wanted to make sure nothing was damaged in transportation. Because I actually ordered these online and I didn't actually walk into Barnes & Noble. Because when I bought these two books, I pre-ordered another book. So that way I pre-ordered it, and it's Barnes & Noble special edition book. And it happens to be Finale by Stephanie Garber, which is the last book in the Caraval series. I wanted to be able to pre-order it and everything. And I bought these two books also because I just happened to need them for, well, I'm reading both of them in the month of May. And the first book I happen to have happens to be A Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. This happens to be the Books with Friends book club pick of the month for May. So far so good. I've been enjoying the books that we've read. We read Six of Crows. Then we read Gilded Wolves. Then we read Truly Devious, and I really enjoyed Truly Devious. And so for the month of May, it happens to be the Descendant of the Crane. So I'm excited to pick this up. I am going to be putting it with my books for April. My books for May. Sorry, I'm tired. I worked today. And so the next book that happens to be on that I got from Barnes & Noble that I'm really, really, really excited to have is, again, I found a bunch of series this year from going from my reading slump to being out of it. I found a lot of series that I haven't really found or enjoyed before until now, and so I happen to have picked up Cassandra Clare. By the authors of Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu, I picked up the first book in the Eldest Curses, which happens to be The Red Scrolls of Magic. So this book is a Cassandra Clare book. It follows mostly Magnus and Alec. It takes place in between City of Lost Souls and the City of Heavenly Fire when they're traveling the world. I am hands down super duper 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 excited to read this. I've heard great things about it. Sorry, I was fixing something, and I'm excited to see what the life. I'm excited to read this. I became such a huge fan of Cassandra Clare this year that I'm surprisingly enough, I'm all caught up in her series. I have read all of the Mortal Engines series, I've read all of the Infernal Devices series, and I read all the Dark Artifice series. I actually read the Dark Artifice series in a span of a month. And I've read both of the novellas, The Bane Chronicles and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. I've listened to 2 songs from the Ghost Market novella series. I plan to buy the big book for it. And I'm excited to read Chain of Gold, which comes out in November. But I'm excited to pick up the Red Scrolls of Magic. So that is what I got from Barnes & Noble. Last but not least, the last box for this book haul happens to be this gigantic box that's actually pretty heavy by Book Outlet. Not sponsored. But I've heard so much from Naya Reads and Smiles, and she has gotten books from Book Outlet before, and other booktubers that I don't specifically remember on the top of my head. And so I thought, let me give Book Outlet a chance. And so I bought, I think, about 7 books. I ordered this a week ago, and it's not even open. It came today while I was at work. So I'm pretty excited. I know I could look at the order form of what books I got, but I don't want to, because that would ruin the surprise and the fun of me opening a box. Forgot to do the middle. I'm like, yeah, I don't want any of the books. Put the series away before I hurt myself. Because knowing me, I'll hurt myself doing something. Yeah. Yay! Da 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 da. Obviously, the box is opened. excited. Ew. So the first book I happen to see happens to be My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Aston, and Jody Meadows. I've heard good things about it. I recently picked up, where did I put it? I recently actually picked up My Plain Jane. So I'm excited to read My Lady Jane and then read My Plain Jane. What else? Ooh, this is so pretty. So I also ended up buying the Strange the Dreamer, the hardcover edition by Laini Taylor. I saw that they had Strange the Dreamer on the website, and I'm like, ooh, and it's the hardcover edition. So I'm like, let me get it. And so I ended up getting Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This would actually match my my Muse of Nightmare hardcover that I have. So I'm very excited. Ooh, it's so pretty. So now I have a matching set of hardcovers, and so once the paperback edition of Muse and Nightmares comes out, then I'll buy that, so it'll match my Strange the Dreamer paperback edition. Ooh. We then have, let me get rid of the sticker, then the book doesn't look nice. I should have really planned this ahead. No. So you get to see me take off a sticker. Aha! Hold on. It's almost there. So the next book I have happens to be which happens to be The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell. This is actually book 2 of a series. This happens to be book 2 in the Magician series. For The Last Magician, actually. And so I have The Last Magician over here that I plan to read in June. And so I'm happy I was able to pick up the second book in the series. And the cover is very pretty. It looks spooky. Ooh. Let's see. What other books do I have? Here's a good one. Ooh, I'm very excited for this because it has a built-in paper bookmark. I can't think of the word for a second. But I'm so excited to actually have a copy of this because I'm planning to read a bunch of classics this year. So I'm very excited to now own my own copy of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And look at the cover, isn't it pretty? It's the Paper Mills Press edition. And it comes, I'm trying to find the, and it comes with a nice ribbon bookmark. And it's so nice and beautiful, and I'm actually excited to read this. It looks very beautiful. It's one of the classics I'm trying to read for the year. What else? I am really, really excited to read this book. I'm actually pretty excited to have this copy because I've heard so much about it. And I've seen a lot of other booktubers have this exact copy. And that happens to be Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is the Puffin Books special edition, I believe. It's the one that has the beautiful cover. And I've seen a lot of other people have this cover for Little Women, and I had a copy of Little Women, and I believe I donated my copy to my local library, and so I wanted to really read Little Women again, for just because it's a classic to myself, and so it's like I wanted to be able to have it and to be able to read it, and so that's why I just decided to buy myself a copy of Little Women, and I decided to go with this super duper nice edition of it. So I'm excited to actually carry this around with me to read. So I'm looking forward to when I actually get to read Little Women again, because I've read it before. I believe I have one last book. I do! And it happens to be another Jane Austen book. I'm excited to have this. It's another Jane Austen book. And it's another Paper Mills edition. I'm fighting with the... And it just so happens to... It just so happens to be pink, but I got a copy of Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility. There's a reason why I'm kind of laughing that it's pink. I work at a great place, and my boss's favorite color is pink. And I saw that the Paper Mills edition for Sense and Sensibility was pink, and I knew I had to get it because it reminds me of work. Probably not the story, but the color pink. If only we had pink sprayed edges, that would make it even better. But I'm trying to read 16 classics, and I've already read 3. I've read 4 classics this year. And so I definitely wanted to be able to read Sense and Sensibility. And so I'm happy. It's just a beautiful cover. I also like what it says on the back. It says, it is not time or opportunity that is to determine intimacy. It is deposition alone. 7 years would be insufficient to make some people acquainted with each other, and 7 days are more than enough for others. Which I enjoy. But yeah, that is my first ever book haul. Again, I'm so excited to have these books and to be able to read, to actually be able to read them. So I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books. Let's see if this works. Woo! Good flavor. So that's my first ever book haul. I know for sure there'll be more book hauls in the future, but those are just the books I currently have, and those are the books I currently bought. I am super duper excited to read all these books. I wish I was reading these books in the month of May. Pretty sure I'm reading 2 out of the 10 of them, but thank you so much for joining me on this channel, and I hope you guys like and subscribe, so you can get notified whenever I post. So thank you for joining me on my first ever book haul. Bye, guys.